This week's US CQM Forecast Alert is economic growth is likely to have exceeded 2.0% on the expenditure side in 2023 Q4. A downward revision to November's Industrial Production Index led to a downward revision to the PCA's real GDP forecast. On the other hand, due to the decline in PPI in December, business inventory changes were revised upward through inventory valuation adjustment, and real GDP on the expenditure side was revised upward. It is likely that the real GDP growth rate on the expenditure side would have exceeded 2% in 2023 Q4. However, the economic growth on the income side remains at around 1%. Focusing on only GDP on the expenditure side risks being too optimistic about the current US economic recovery. There seems to be sustainable economic growth because real final sales are forecasted to be growing at 2.8% in 2023 Q4. All inflation indicators have been on a downward trend since mid-November, but the decline in inflation appears to have bottomed out as seen in the GDP price deflator. PCA forecast utilizing financial market indicators tend to fall in between the economic growth rate of CQM's expenditure and income side. This week's PCA forecasts economic growth rate to be 2.49% for 2023 Q4, which is somewhat higher than the economic growth rate on the expenditure side of CQM. The main reason for this is that S&P 500 rose significantly by 4.5% and 5.0% in November and December, respectively. Regarding to inflation, the decline in the GDP price deflator appeared to have bottomed out. Conclusions from this week's US CQM Forecast Alert. The first, the advanced GDP for 2023 Q4 is likely to have grown by more than 2%. The second, there are few risks to the sustainability of economic growth. The third, the downward trend in inflation has bottomed out. This slide contains additional information about this week's detailed CQM forecast and shows how to access the past US CQM forecast alert.